on today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
I remember the days when I was actually counting how much an envelope cost and my cost of business sold.
No, you have 30 more seconds.
Can we start that one over?
You can't start it over.
Why not?
What?
Because it's a podcast. No one's your answer.
You can't just start over. The whole point
Yes.
of this time.
Oh, hey.
Why is it? She said that to me in that tone for, I don't know, we've known each other for 10 years.
Oh, hey, it's Kristen and Cassie from Rochester Wedding Magazine.
And you're listening to The Real DJ Show, and you should really listen to us.
Because we know what the we're talking about.
What's up, everybody? Rich Cranston. So if you are a big proponent of line dances, hit the dislike button. If you don't like line dances, you're our audience, hit the like. Either way, it's going to help our algorithms. Rich Cranston, The Real DJ Show, John Roach, and we were going
That was from last episode. Hey, I'm John. Welcome, everyone, to The Real DJ Show. We are, live. It's being taped,
That's okay.
but it's live.
We're
Say
going
hi
south.
Who's keeping us live is Mickey in the box. Say hi to Mickey.
Hello there.
Speaking of going south in the ratings, no,
Yeah.
it's all good.
So,
we are legitimately going south.
Being
for our
a
guest
show about and for the Private Event DJ, of course, we like to start every episode with a highlight of somebody out there who's killing it in that space, earning a living, and just killing
Yeah,
it in
it's
the
just
mobile
all
DJ
about
space.
keeping in perspective. We can't get in front of each other now these days as much as we want to, right? So it's all about connecting and just branching out and networking to other professionals.
So we begin every episode with the one thing. Mickey, give me the one thing intro.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest.
We are super excited today to bring to you for the one thing DJ Alex Updike from Palm Springs. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks
Alex,
for having
nice
me.
to meet you, man. What's going on?
Noah, not too much. Just trying to stay cool. We're already hitting the high 90s down here. so.
Dude, thanks. I think we hit about 54 the other day.
It hit 54 in Rochester, New York, and people are drinking in the streets because it's the like a heat wave. We were talking before we went live here that the hottest day of my life was spent in a town near where Alex is at, and it was like $110. My body is not built for $110, so I don't know how the hell you pull that off. How are you loading gear in 110 degree weather?
Oh, man, you don't, because people just don't get married down here when it's 110.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of weddings in 110 degree heat. That's kind of when you're going, like what we were talking about, you're kind of going outside the Coachella Valley out to like the wineries in Temecula or, heading down to even San Diego or that kind of area sometimes, because there's just not a lot going on out here when it's 110. No bride wants to have to do her, her wedding day makeup in 110 degree heat.
Wow.
So
She'd melt like the Joker. Hey, well, look, we're still jealous. I'm not going to lie. We're still jealous. 110.
Wait, are you in Palm Springs, Florida, or
Palm Springs,
California?
California.
Oh, California. My bad. That whole segment, I'm like, yeah, we're going south. We're going south. Blah, blah. Really? You're in Cali?
I'm in Cali.
Rich, that's a state, by the way.
I'm having trouble with the state of California and the city of last month.
So, despite Rich's geographic shortcomings, Alex, we'd love to hear the superhero origin story of DJ Alex Updike.
Right on, yeah. So I feel like I started and got into DJing the same way a lot of people do, and that's that I didn't really know what else to do, and so I was like, oh yeah, I can play music, I can do that. So I just graduated from college, and so I had my big fancy college degree and absolutely nothing to do with it, and I was sitting in my parents' kitchen, just trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life, living at home, not knowing what my next steps were. And I came across the DJing thing, and I grew up an athlete. And then transitioned into acting a little bit, but never had anything to do with music. But I saw the DJing thing, and I tell people I thought of two things. Number one, I was like, girls are going to dig this. Girls are going to love DJs.
We all hope that, right?
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
And two, I was like, I think I can make some money off of this. There's it's a low overhead to get started, but the earning potential is really high. So I had the professional brain and then the 24-year-old brain working at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the girls liking it thing turned out to be not true at all. Everybody thinks DJs are like corny, douchey, whatever. So that turned out to be completely wrong. But the business side turned out to be completely right. It was, fairly easy to get into. I borrowed a couple pairs of speakers from my church and just started doing events and just kind of grew little by little and bought equipment as I was making money. And It just turned out to be one of those things where you could get into it, like I said, kind of with a low overhead, but the earning potential is definitely there.
Well, you got to love it when side hustles turn into a passion like that and to actually something you can make money off of.
Well, it's obvious that it's much more than that now, because, everything that we can see from 30,000 feet is that your business is really refined. How have you grown your business to where it's at now, where it's as polished, from the humble beginnings of borrowing speakers from the church to, this kind of polished enterprise that we see now?
Yeah, I think part of it is being smart when you start. So when I started, I kept track of everything that I made as far as like how much was I making doing events compared to how much was I spending on things like new equipment and stuff like that. Smart. To make sure I wasn't spending more than I was bringing in at any given point. So I let myself kind of grow slowly as far as building up that equipment base and building up kind of that capital to be able to push yourself out there at a little broader space as far as advertising and stuff. And then I think the other one was just being humble enough to listen to people that know more than you. So huge, yeah. I've worked with a lot of people that I know are smarter than me. I take a lot of inspiration from guys like Joe Bunn and Jason Janai and how they're doing things. And I'm willing to say things like, I have no idea how to build a website, so I'm going to put down a little money and have a professional build it.
Right.
Or I didn't study branding, so I'm going to work with someone like Kaylee Weiss at Meldine, and she's going to help me with my branding and really help me kind of focus that in on what it needs to be.
So, Alex, how did you follow or come to learn of these people? Are you following them on different social media platforms or conventions or what?
The big one, so last year when Corona first started and people just didn't know what to do and events were shutting down, Mobile Beat Las Vegas was like, hey, we're just going to put our entire conference online for free.
Yep.
And I had never done anything like that as far as a big mobile DJ conference or meeting other mobile DJs. So I got on there and I watched all their stuff, and I came across guys like Joe Bunn and learned what the DJ's vault is. So I would say that was a huge, as far as connecting with professionals in the industry around the country. The biggest step I took was hooking in with Joe Bunn, who's out of Raleigh, I believe, in North Carolina, and the DJ's Vault, which is a little not a little program. It's a big program he has online where mobile DJs can get all sorts of resources. So I would say that was a big step for me as far as learning about kind of who these big wigs in the industry are that can kind of help you take your company to the next step.
Well, it's okay that you liked Joe's presentations more than ours at Mobile Beat. We'll go ahead and we'll assume you liked ours also, but we like Joe too. Matter of fact, if this makes you feel good, your episode of The One Thing is going to happen right after Joe's episode of The One Thing.
Yeah.
He'll be the episode right before you guys. So you're like in the same spot.
So taking all the inspiration and things you're learning back to your place in California. So your space in the event industry. What does give us the sauce, right?
What's the one thing Alex
that separates you from everybody else?
Thing?
The big thing that I would say I've really focused on, especially over the last year with kind of our forced vacation and the extra free time we have, is working what I call the client journey. And that is, how does a client experience you from the second they reach out to you, or even before that when they're just kind of looking at your website or your Instagram, all the way up until you actually arrive at the wedding on the day of. That's what I really focused on, and that's kind of what I try to do to set me apart. Because the fact of the matter is, by the time you arrive to the wedding on the day of, the couple's really already decided if they like you or not.
That's so
you want to play good music. You want to kill the dance floor as a DJ, but that couple has already decided if they like you or not. And you have already had 100 different chances to get on that couple's good side and ensure that they're going to have a good day. So that client journey of from when they reach out to you and you're doing things like replying to emails, within, a day or within 12 hours or whatever your goal is. Up through, everything they do to book you is all done online. So it's super simple. The contracts are e-signed. The deposits are all paid online. It's all really simple for them. Up through the planning process, which is huge for me, and using a custom client portal. So I use a client portal through DJ Event Planner, which is an online website. You can check them out. And I had it customized through Perfect Portals, which is a company based out of Canada that I can't recommend enough. So if Karen and Keith are watching this, definitely look them up, Perfect Portals.
Hope they're paying you. That was a good plug.
Yeah.
Using that portal as an online experience where they do all of their planning. So there's no having to print anything out. There's no having to write it out by hand. There's no having to find a scanner and scan it back to me. It's literally all done online. And if they have a screen and internet access, they can get on and they can work on their planning stuff. So just making that whole client process not only customized to who they are, but super simple for them and really professional as far as how I handle myself and what my response times
Alex,
are.
that's all good information. So is it you? What's your team looking like? I mean, are you the
You're looking at it, man.
In the bottle washer?
You're looking at it. This is the team right here.
Love it.
So
That's great. Well, I'll tell you what, for a single operator, I mean, it is what you've put out there into the public is a really polished product, man. It's really good. And you're an insightful guy. You didn't give yourself enough credit. You said you're not a smart guy. This might be the most insightful one of these we've done so far.
For sure. I remember the days when I was actually counting how much an envelope cost and my cost of business sold. And when you're telling that story, I remember checking the little box. Did I send them 4 envelops? Oh, that's 12 cents.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Actually, we're thinking about having an episode soon, which is going to cover, the biggest topic on, the DJ social spaces, how much should a DJ be charging? Mm-hmm. I think having Alex back for that would be great insight. If
you're up for it.
The way that you talk about figuring out costs, nobody does that. DJs, they think, how much should we cost? It's like go on Facebook and ask other DJs how much they're charging versus what is this actually costing me to do business?
I mean, I think DJs just throw out there, whatever number sounds attractive to the audience,
sure.
To whatever that obstacle is going to be, so soft for them to book with that DJ. It's the wrong answer.
Well, Alex, we really appreciate this. You have some plugs for us. Where can we find you?
The big one you can find me on is Instagram. That's the one I keep updated the most. So if you follow me on Instagram, just at DJ Alex Updike, especially if you're a bride, that's really focused to potential clients looking out. But if you're other DJs and you just want some ideas I want to post on Instagram, feel free to jump on there and see what I've got. But that's the big one you can follow me on is Instagram at DJ Alex Updike, and pretty much any other platform is going to be the same handle, but Instagram's the big one.
Awesome. It was our pleasure meeting you, man.
Yeah, it was
really
nice
to make happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Cool.
For sure.
We appreciate it, Alex. We'll talk soon. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of The One Thing, our weekly segment where we highlight the hardworking mobile professional DJ. Make sure you give this DJ some love in the comments below. If you want to be involved and be highlighted, email us at TheRealDJShow at rochesterdj.com. Of course, we want you along every time, so make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We'll see you next time.